Ebushama mama akwaba and found Ghana TV GH message or like, comment, subscribing, then notification also on so that anytime you post a video, say we are with some baby. Ebushama me won't be internet neso. Apparently, Mami Jaane no pokwajiman. Allegedly, and I say whatever you want to say. Yeah, to say, I say was start here the camping kakra. Now you see. I've even heard say she's met with allegedly she's met with a regional chairman of NDC. Now, money maybe this woman, even though say on your MPP ni, I really respect her. Even till now, I really respect her. I mean, academia, me obi bia or yeah academic biano. Whether you are in my field, health, and I say any other field, no. Me try salute. So this woman, even though I on your MPP nimpo no, me try no salute. Now, before we went into the election, NDC4 sold this woman to us, the nation of Ghana, as the mother, the one with a motherly heart, the one that feels the pain of Ghanaians, because she is a mother. And you see, for those of us who grew up with women, yana a ma and a share so from Yankona Brema to the time that we became independent now. When you sell such a message to us, we know what it means. Because Oba Mamefo they will do everything possible to ensure Senkolani Didi. Oba Senkolane misbehaving puna omu papa se oba bebu oma. Sometimes Mamefo no they will go and negotiate say and crese Senkolano manye niye ba da me e pa chofa chelmo. That is how we know our mothers to be. But it appears as if Mami Jaane no pokwajiman die. She's not showing the kind of love that we expect she would have shown to even opposition for. Because she's a mother. And as a mother, she understands, say, ye Ghana for. Whether you are in MPP or NDC. As a mother, she should understand that. And if we have a mother who is a vice president, who is the chairman or the chairperson of the police council, now it means have a police for a you want to be brave or police for no or no, and they go and catch an innocent TikToker and get her to make a plea in the absence of a lawyer, take her to a court in the shortest possible time and get a conviction. The mother, our mother, Jaane Pokwajiman, where is your motherly love? Where is your motherly love, Jaane Pokwajiman, her excellency? As the chairperson of the police council, you have been seeing the way I had to arrested young Ghanaians who are just speaking their minds on social media. And mommy, the police is doing this and you are quiet. Mommy, this is not what you promised us. This is not the kind of show of love you promised us, mommy. So where are you? Are you not hearing all these things? Mommy, have you not heard that a female lady, maybe what she said was not right, maybe, but she learned it from somewhere, mommy, and you know where she learned it from, because where she learned it from is the same place that you got some of your votes from. The same individual that taught Ghanaians how to be harsh when they are doing politics, how to insult when they are doing politics, came to this country and he was pampered. So, mommy, the children thought that was the right way to do politics. So if it appears that that's not the right way, then mommy, please, you must step in. Show that you are a mother. This is the time. Yeah, baby. Say something. Chairperson of the police council, say something, mommy.
Wrong, they shouldn't be arrested and dealt with.
Let me put it on record that we have not complained of the arrest. Our complaint has been the way and manner our people are treated following the arrest. The MPP is not against accountability in any shape or form. However, the manner in which our people are handled then gives suggestions that it is not merely for accountability but other things. And that is why when these things happen, obviously, we'll come to the aid of our people. Look, you are a government. You have the law in your palm in terms of how you use it. Nobody will stop you. If you have anything or believe that somebody has committed one wrong or the other, take him through due process of law. There is a trend that cannot be ignored. What Chairman Wontumi went through, what Hanan went through, what Provençal went through, what Dennis Miracle Abuaji is going through, and many others who have gone through it. It's a trend. If you suspect that somebody has committed an offense, you have invited the person for investigations. Let's take Miracle's case. Let's even take it from the perspective or within the context of the statement that was issued by Yoko. From Yoko's statement, they had been investigating him for a year. That then suggests that there had been previous invitations where he had attended at the instance of Yoko for a year. And so if you have somebody who you've been investigating for a year and has been cooperating with you for a year without drama, why arrest him upon his return to Ghana, not when he is leaving Ghana? If you need him, is it a case that you invited him and he failed to respond to your invitation? From your statement, there was nothing like that you had previously invited him in the course of your investigations, but he had failed to honor the invitation. From your own statement, he's been cooperating with you for a year. Nothing suggests uncooperation. So why the need to do what you did at the airport by arresting him?
They said, following significant new findings last week relating to suspected fraud and theft involving Mr. Dennis Abuaji, who is already aware of the investigation and has already visited the office on it, Iyoko initiated an operational plan to effect his arrest this week. That was last week. As part of this process, Mr. Abuaji was placed on the stop order a week ago to prevent any sudden travel that could impede the investigation this week. Unknown to the office, he had already departed the country. So upon his arrival, immigration took hold of him and handed him to them.
Let's analyze the account you just gave. So Dennis is aware of an investigation. He has been visiting the office. If there is a significant findings, right, the same way you invited him to the office that he responded, this statement doesn't state that he was invited and he did not respond. Why place him on a stop? Why place him on a stop order? Is it the case that you were suspecting that he will run away for the period? If you were suspecting that he will run away, why didn't you invite him prior to his departure? Clearly, the statement doesn't add up. My brother, this is the reason why we don't believe that there is indeed a genuine investigation.
Investigators use all sorts of, tactic and they have to be calculated about it. If for some reason they feel that this time we have to ambush him, pick him up.
Ambush him where?
Because they had to take him to his home, and they said he cooperated. They took him there over the period that he was with them.
He's done all that.
Maybe inviting him quietly would not serve that purpose.
Okay, so now, Samson, you are doing the devil's advocate. You are playing the devil's advocate very well. But Samson, so they were in the mind of Dennis to know that at some point he will be traveling, right? But they were not in his mind to know that, he can do some other things to interfere with the investigations. Is that what they are suggesting? I mean, if you knew that he could travel side that you put him on a stop order, then you should be able to tell where he is at a material time to be able to hold him and then do whatever you want to do. I mean, clearly, what they did, Samson, is unjustified. And when you add it up to things or some other things they have done in the past in relation to some members of our party and some appointees of the former government, clearly it tells you of acts of intimidation, very unnecessary. You see, post-2000, the national reconciliation exercise was aimed at putting certain things behind us so that we'll start on a clean slate. And that we're hoping that on the back of that, we're going to let the Constitution become paramount and work according to due process of law. When you proceed along these lines, it becomes very difficult upon a change of government for an NPP government not to do same. Because you see, when you are in government, Samson, you also have to listen to your grassroots. And if you don't have the heart of the likes of President Kufuor, who say no, of the heart of Professor Mills, who say no, but would want to go for an eye, we are going to end up destroying this country. They are effecting Operation Recover All Loot. And you guys have been on the rooftop saying it is dead, it is dead. They must show you that it is not dead, it's alive. Recover it in court, not by such abuses. What's the abuse? 50 million bail. What's the abuse about it? That's the question they are asking you. Samson. You have to demonstrate once again at Yoko's premises. For what? Samson, genuinely, you're a lawyer. Tell me. Don't ask me a question, please. Ask your other members. I do the questions here. Samson, let me take you to Article 14.4. Yeah. Where a person arrested, restricted or detained under paragraph A or B of clause 3 of this article is not tried within a reasonable time, then without prejudice to any further proceedings that may be brought against him, he shall be released, either unconditionally or upon reasonable conditions, including, in particular, conditions reasonably necessary to ensure that he appears at a later date for trial or for proceedings preliminary to trial. Are you telling me that when you are yet to conclude investigations, first and foremost to know the quantum in issue, secondly to know that there's a prima facie case against the person, for which reason within 48 hours or immediately thereafter you are sending the person to court, you are telling me that the imposition of 50 million cedis bail is reasonable? It is clearly not reasonable. They said they don't know the quantum. They say 55 million. You have not concluded with the investigations. If you had concluded with the investigations, you would not be releasing him on police enquiry bail. You will be taking him to court. The reason why... After 1 year of investigations. Yes, after 1 year of investigations. If you had really concluded with your investigations, you wouldn't be giving him bail. You would take him straight to court and let the court give him a court bail. But you have not been able to do it because clearly you are not done with your investigations. And so you are yet to even establish the core elements, right? I.e. the quantum of claim, i.e. whether or not he himself is culpable. And that when you have not been able to do it, why do you have to impose on him such hefty bail? When we all know that if you want Dennis Miracle Abuaje, right, he's in Ghana. He has not gone anywhere. He's a very important part of the New Patriotic Party.
Somebody would have said the same thing about Sedina, Tieno, Tamaklo. Somebody would have said the same thing about Kenoforiata. These are men of integrity, wearing white and reading their statement and quoting the Bible. They won't run anywhere.
Sedina Tamaklo was not a key member of the NDC in terms of structure until her appointment. Who knew Sedina? Nobody knew Sedina. Ken Oforiatta, he was not charged by anybody before he left this country. Ken had not been charged. And so there are distinct matters. Miracles Abuaje, he had traveled and he was returning home. If he didn't mean to return, he wouldn't have come back. And from their own statement, for the last 1 year, he knew that he was being investigated. So upon all this, he decided to return home. It tells you that he's not a flight risk. And so imposing on him 50 million cedis bail is clearly unreasonable. And I hope we don't continue doing this to ourselves. And this is why, Samson, I think that we should really...
You read the Constitutional Provision Article 14. Which part of it has Iyoko breached?
I think that the imposition of the 50 million cedis bail.
I read to you Hanan's situation.
That is...
Iyoko had given him 60 million. And we were all doing yay with demonstration. He went to the court. The court upped it to 100 million.
And we have been complaining about how the court has been handling these matters too.
So Iyoko is taking a cue from the court.
We have been complaining about all these matters. We don't think it is fair. Because, look, it flies in the face of the constitutional provision on the presumption of innocence. It completely flies in the face. And in some instances, it's proven that once such bail conditions are imposed, it becomes difficult for people to meet them, and so they stay in prison custody longer.
Look, Iyoko is setting about the case it has. It says Dennis Miracles Abuaje, who was the executive secretary of the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization, there's an audit, and the current person in charge of that brought a petition over the audit, and it concerns suspected misappropriation, misapplication, diversion, and thefts. They are categorical thefts of public funds amounting to 55 million. So they say that the former executive secretary, Dennis Abuaje, and the former accountant, Mr. Gerald Appiah, and others are under investigations for suspected offenses, including conspiracy to steal and stealing, using public office for profit, causing financial loss to the state, dissipation of public funds, defrauding by false pretenses, money laundering, and other suspected offenses. They actually say that the accountant has started paying back the money. So it looks like you have a watertight
Dennis
case.
has come out to deny this. Dennis has also stated, and in fact, his point is also corroborated by his lawyer, Atachia, that during interrogation, no mention was made of any 55 million. And so clearly, what we are being told might seem to be not what it really is. And so we have to be very cautious in accepting what Iyoko is telling us.
All right.
But ultimately, if you look at the chronology of events, right, you come to the conclusion that the arrest at the airport was not necessary because he had been cooperating with you. It is when somebody has not been cooperating with you that you do things to secure the person's cooperation, right? Secondly, when you listen to the chronology of events, you also come to the conclusion that the imposition of 50 million cedis as a bail condition was also very unreasonable and unconstitutional. When you listen to Dennis Miracle Abuaje, you also come to the conclusion that the reference to Mr. Appiah, is that not the name? Mr. Abuaje?
Gerald. Okay.
Right? The reference to him, right, and connecting it to his case is completely, might seem completely not
unwarranted.
Unwarranted. So